This video is intended to show the Spanish dragon boat stroke. This is not the only way to paddle a dragon boat and to make it go fast, but this is the stroke that suits us well given our body types and our level of athleticism. The first thing that I want to show you is what tends to happen when somebody first starts paddling a dragon boat. There's a tendency to pull with our arms. So this is what I'm trying to do in these next few strokes. Just watch. You will notice that the stroke is actually quite short, and let me brush this back so that we can watch it again and watch this one in slow motion. See, the paddle went in the water already almost vertical. Here's another one. Watch here, the paddle is more or less vertical, but there's all this paddle out of the water out here. So there's a lot of blade outside of the water at this point. Let's watch how the next one. So you can see there's a lot of splash there. Pause. See, my paddle is not in the water yet, and it actually never makes it to the water. But the thing that you're going to see is, you know, I'm applying power, and the blade is already past vertical. If you look at the angle here, you know, what we would want is for the power to be coming in at 90 degrees, and we're at about 78 degrees. So, and my blade is not even fully in the water yet. So it's okay for a beginner, but that's not what we're trying to do. See, there you go. It's a very, very short stroke. Now let's see the next phase of the evolution. If you're new, which is actually not bad, is to paddle using your lats, which is basically, you know, the big muscles in your back here. This, you will get a little bit more power, but it's not quite what we want yet. But if you're at this point where you're paddling with your lats, that's actually not bad. You're more or less where our average paddler is. So you can see that I'm able to pull a lot more water with this stroke. If we reduce the... So there's more power here. There's already more power because I'm using bigger muscles. Oh, let's not get to that point yet. So let's watch this again. So go a little bit farther back, actually. So let's try again. Right. Now the paddle is almost fully in the water. There's a fair amount of power, and the angle is a little bit better. I'm not quite at 90 degrees. Oh, there you go. 89, that's not bad, right? But then again, the angle is not quite exact. But you can see the power is coming at a reasonable spot, and I'm pulling a lot more water. I'm using bigger muscles. So usually when people come to this point, the that most is rotate, right? And this is what happens when people hear rotate. Watch, I'm going to finish this stroke, and I think in the next one I'll start rotating. I'll do one more of the let pull. Again, this is a decent stroke. It's not ideal. And when you hear rotate, this is what happens. People look under their arm, go super rotated, and they're not looking forward. Let's see where I'm looking at the very beginning of the stroke. Bang. So the paddle is not fully in the water yet. You can see there's a little bit of paddle out of the water, but it's, you know, already it's significantly better because now at this point I have more of an angle, and by the time I get to 90 degrees, hopefully my paddle is going to be fully in the water and I'm going to be able to apply pressure. I'm already applying pressure here, so that's actually pretty decent. The difficulty with this is that when I'm, first thing, right, your boat will go where you're looking, as most things. Your power will go where you're looking. And what's happening here is instead of applying power front to back, what I'm doing is I'm doing this rotational power, which isn't bad, but at the same time, you don't have as much power in your body when you're rotating like this, as opposed to when you're pulling straight back. I mean, if you don't believe me, just go to a gym, try to do one of those rotational exercises, either with the machines or with a cable, and then try to do just a lunge pull, or you're just gonna pull something front to back. You'll see you'll be able to pull more weight front to back. But this isn't bad. This is, you know, you're rotating more. You're trying to get more power into the water. You're beginning to use your abs as well as your lats. But this is not quite what we mean when we say rotate. So watch a couple more of the rotational ones. Again, not bad. You can see there's the stroke is actually a little bit cleaner. But now what I mean by rotate is, watch, basically what happened here, and it's a little bit hard to see from this angle, is I'm going forward, 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 forward. Okay, this is more or less, I'm coming to the end of my reach. My arm is still kind of relaxed, and as I am reaching forward and straightening my arm, my top shoulder, my outside shoulder should be coming down. This is not a very good stroke here, but the idea is I'm rotating forward. I'm reaching forward on this stroke. So let's try again. The next one might be a little bit better. And you can see that the idea here is that I'm putting all of the weight of my body onto this stroke. The one before this was actually better. If you see here, paddle's out of the water. Paddle's more or less in the water here. I think it's beginning to hit sand on the bottom of the boat, and you will see, or what I'm trying to do is to use all of these muscles here, from my back to my legs, and then just use all of them to sort of scoot the boat forward to where the paddle is. I'm having to pull the paddle backwards here, because the boat's not moving, but the idea is to move the boat to where this anchor point of the paddle is. So there you go. Reach, bang. Now, in order to get the maximum amount of power into this stroke, right, we're gonna have to work on our catch. So the idea is that you need to give yourself some time at the beginning of your catch to actually get on the water. It's not so much, I mean, obviously I'm exaggerating, I'm doing a pause, but what you want to do is to make sure at the front of your stroke, as we go, right, I try to insert the paddle in the water first before rotating. The previous stroke was actually a little bit better than this one. So reach, bang, and you try not to start pulling unless and until your full paddle is in the water. So you want to have as little of this little splash here as possible to keep your paddle silent and actually get a firm grip on the water. Again, not a perfect stroke. I don't have a perfect stroke, but that's what we're trying to get to. So as we go, reach, catch, pull. You can see my body only begins to kind of come up once my paddle is more or less fully inserted. Again, not ideal. I'm pulling with my arms a little bit, but that's what we're trying to get to. There's one last important thing in this video that's important to notice, and I will show you on this frame here, which if you can get in as you're paddling a dragon boat, if you can have this next element, it would be ideal. So if you're in a dragon boat and you can actually have a dragon walking by, that's perfect. Very hard to achieve, but with years and years in practice, you may be able to get there.